We are back at Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia. The Gym Dogs leading the Auburn Tigers after true rotations. Here is Hilary Mauro, a sophomore from Boston, Massachusetts, starting things off on the balance beam.
Hilary's going to start her routine wasting no time with her flight series, back handspring layout, step out. A lot of gymnasts choose to do that. It's probably one of the more nerve-wracking elements that you have to get through. And she has a front aerial to a straddle jump, which is her gym macro combination, something that is required in every beam routine.
She is a second-team All-American on the balance beam. She earned those honors in 2008, and I must say she looks different tonight.
She did get her hair cut and colored it, something that I think the Gym Dogs are known for. I know I had a different hair color every single year I competed, so.
Actually, if you look at the lineup tonight, there are a lot of new hair colors. We'll have to point them out as we go throughout the night here.
Hilary doing a great job. She did a front tuck with no wobbles and a cat leap to a switch side. And all she has left is her dismount. Round off, double full, and a small step, but otherwise a fantastic beam routine to start off the Gym Dogs.
She was named to the All-SEC freshman team last year and is having a good campaign here in 2008, a 9.825 for Hilary Mauro. Over to Auburn, we have Carmen Nelms, one of 3 gymnasts from the Peach State on the Tiger roster.
Carmen's first pass tonight here, a big double pike. You could actually hear it when they were walked out and announced all the girls that are on Auburn's team from Georgia. They had a huge fan base sitting up behind us. So,
well, Carmen is from Stone Mountain. Lindsay Puckett, of course, from, is it Tacoola? Am I saying that right? Tacoola, Georgia. And Leah Vining is from Woodstock, up near Cumming, Georgia.
Second pass, front layout, front full. So far, a very clean routine.
She trained at the Georgia Gymnastics Academy. She's an all-arounder, a 5'1" junior.
Torchete half Popa is her leap series.
And what's interesting, last season she pretty much only competed on the bars. So I'm sure she's happy to be seeing some more time on this rotation.
Last pass is a big double tuck. You know, it's always good when you have your, some gymnasts that only compete one event one year and then they come back the next year and compete 2 or 3. Just helps you have depth on your team. So a big 9.8 score for her on floor.
A good start for Auburn on that rotation. Back over to Georgia. Here's Cassidy McComb.
Cassidy starts off her routine also with her flight series. It's actually kind of unique and difficult. Back handspring to a one-arm back handspring, layout, step out. So far so good, looking very solid. Very nice full turn.
Cassidy was the SEC Freshman of the Year last year. And we did find out why she does the moonwalk.
We actually did. I asked a couple of the girls on the team, and they said that it wasn't really passed down, that Suzanne just liked it so much that she said, who's going to do it next year? And Cassidy stepped up and said, well, I can. And that's how she got to do the moonwalk on beam this year.
Well, it's not quite the story we thought it was going to be, but I'm sure Nikki Childs will not mind. She was a sweet girl.
So a pretty solid routine, switch leap, tuck, jump full, and just a dismount.
I'm sure it'll be passed on next year as well. It's a fan favorite here at Stegman.
Round off double full, so great routine for Cassidy. She looked a little shaky the first couple of meets, but it seems like she's finally gotten into the groove and putting up a pretty decent score for Georgia.
We talked about how important these gymnasts are, like Cassidy McComb, to step up, especially in the all-around with all the injuries we've been talking about. Back over to floor, here is Krissy Voss from Auburn, a junior from Paradise Valley, Arizona.
Here she'll go in for her first pass. A huge double pike. You know, you see some of the girls do more difficult passes, double layouts, double Arabians, but, sometimes it's not really worth it. If you can get all your requirements in and be very clean, then you're still going to get a great score, and that looks like what Krissy's doing so far. She's got great amplitude on her double pike, And her leaps that we just saw her do were absolutely gorgeous. Whip half, front layout, front pike.
She was actually the all-arounder runner-up last year against Georgia, so she has good luck against the Gym Dogs in the regular season. We should have expected this big crowd. The fact, Auburn's not too far away, and so many gymnasts on this team from Georgia.
I think it's actually the first real sellout that Georgia's had this year, and
it is packed in
probably
here.
definitely expecting, hopefully, the next couple of meets that they have to be packed out as well. Last pass, another double pike. So a great routine for her tonight.
I think we've seen already, something that Jeff Thompson said very early on, and Suzanne Yocklin recognized her earlier in the week. This team is capable of getting to the NCAAs this year and being very, very consistent. A 9.825 for Krissy Voss. Back over to balance beam, one of the Georgia seniors, Tiffany Tolnay. Again, we mentioned she was out last week with a foot injury. It's good to see her back. How much is that foot bothering her, especially on the balance beam?
It really depends. I'm sure that when you get into your senior year, it's like those little things that you've had your whole life, they end up being hurting so much more because you want you want to have a great year as a senior. She started with a back handspring layout as her flight. So far looking very solid. Here she'll do a switch leap to a straddle jump, back tuck, something that she put in a couple of weeks ago. A nice full turn. And it's so funny, something as small as a full turn, what it can do to your brain. Just if you wobble a little bit on that simple little skill, it's like your whole routine just messes up so bad. Front tuck.
Well, you were one of those gym dogs considered an expert on the balance beam.
Oh, but I've wobbled on a full turn too in my life. Switch leap, gainer full off the side.
You've also had some good
routine.
scores though too, may I say. I have to give you a little bit of credit. Let's take another look. A big score for Tiffany Tolnay, a 9.9.
Very well deserved. That was a great beam routine.
She's having a great night back after being out last weekend. Here's Rachel Inness from Auburn, a sophomore from New Mexico. She's really trying to get into the full swing of things this year. She saw action in 8 meets last year and only did an exhibition on the balance beam. So trying to make a name for herself with the Tigers.
Well, she's doing a good job starting off with a huge double pike.
And Auburn, of course, coming off that big win over LSU last Friday. They scored a 196.575. Their highest score of the year.
I'm telling you, if Auburn puts it together, they are a great team. And like we said earlier, they're a consistent team. When they put it together, they can put up those big scores that's going to compete with some of the higher teams in the nation. Whip half front full. There for her second pass. And you can just tell that she really enjoys floor exercise. She loves to dance and play to the crowd. What she just did right there was a double turn to a Popanova.
That was a neat move.
It's a skill that we don't really see much, and I know that I definitely could not do it. I would get lost and land on my back.
I wouldn't attempt it, so.
Last pass, a double tuck, and a very good routine.
She had a good time doing it. Take a look at it, one of her passes. A 9.875.
That's a great score. And I really think that right there where she landed with her chest down was the deduction.
When we come back, Grace Taylor takes the balance beam. Stay with us.